Beneath the quiet waves of the Mediterranean, time stood still for over 2,000 years until now. When marine archaeologists first sent their sonar scanners deep into the blue abyss, they had no idea they were about to uncover one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the century. A perfectly preserved Roman shipwreck hidden untouched since the days of emperors and legions. Imagine a vessel that once sailed during the height of the Roman Empire, frozen in time with its cargo, timbers, and artifacts intact like a message from the ancient world waiting to be read. This is not just another shipwreck. This is a portal into a civilization whose reach defined continents, whose trade routes built empires, and whose legacy still shapes our world today. But how did it survive 2 millennia underwater? What secrets lie within its hold? And what can this ghostly relic tell us about the Romans' mastery of the seas, commerce, and technology far ahead of their time? The story begins off the coast of Italy, where archaeologists detected unusual sonar readings at a depth exceeding 1,000 feet. The seabed revealed a long, symmetrical structure, a shape unmistakably crafted by human hands. As remotely operated vehicles descended into the darkness, their cameras illuminated a haunting silhouette, wooden planks still fused together. Amphorae, ancient Roman jars, stacked in perfect rows and iron anchors resting undisturbed. Unlike most wrecks destroyed by oxygen, currents, or marine life, this one lay beyond the reach of decay, preserved by cold, low-oxygen waters that acted as a time capsule. Experts believe the ship sank during the 1st century BCE or CE, likely while carrying valuable cargo across one of Rome's vast Mediterranean trade routes that connected Europe, Africa, and Asia. As robotic arms carefully brushed away layers of sediment, a world long forgotten began to re-emerge. The ship's hull, built with mortise and tenon joints, revealed the precision craftsmanship that made Roman naval engineering legendary. Each joint fit seamlessly, a testament to builders who understood hydrodynamics centuries before the concept was named. Inside, hundreds of amphorae ceramic vessels used to transport goods stood unbroken, each still sealed with wax. When scientists analyzed the residue, they discovered traces of olive oil, wine, and garum, a fermented fish sauce prized as a luxury condiment across the empire. These weren't just trade goods. They were the very lifeblood of Roman commerce, the economic veins that fueled one of history's greatest empires. Every jar tells a story of trade routes spanning continents, from the vineyards of Gaul to the olive groves of Hispania and the spice ports of North Africa. But what truly amazed archaeologists was how complete the vessel remained. Most shipwrecks crumble into fragments, but this one retained its full structure, from the curved hull to the stern skeletal remains. Radiocarbon dating placed its construction around 75 BCE, a time when Rome's influence over the Mediterranean Mare Nostrum, as they called it, was absolute. The ship likely belonged to a merchant fleet transporting goods between Roman colonies, navigating with primitive yet effective tools such as the gnomon, sun, shadow, and sounding lines to measure depth. Its sinking may have been caused by a violent storm or collision. The Mediterranean, despite its beauty, was treacherous to sailors who relied on stars and instinct rather than maps or compasses. Yet, in tragedy, the sea gave this vessel eternal life, sealing it in cold darkness, beyond the reach of looters or decay. Archaeologists call this find a submerged Pompeii, a preserved glimpse of a single moment frozen in antiquity. Each discovery from its deck rewrites a small piece of Roman history. Wooden spoons, bronze nails, pottery fragments, and even remnants of crew belongings hint at daily life aboard ancient merchant ships. The ship was not merely a transporter of goods, it was a floating community, with sailors, cooks, and traders all living within a few cramped meters. Through residue analysis, scientists even detected traces of ancient grains, figs, and nuts, suggesting that Roman sailors carried sophisticated food supplies on long voyages. Such findings reveal how advanced Roman logistics were, enabling them to sustain trade networks stretching from Britain to Egypt. But beyond its technical marvels, the shipwreck offers a deeper story: how a civilization built on land came to dominate the seas. For centuries, Rome's strength was its legions. Yet by mastering shipbuilding and navigation, it turned the Mediterranean into a Roman lake. Each merchant vessel was part of a vast maritime web, connecting hundreds of ports in an era before compasses, charts, or engines. The amphorae discovered in this wreck bear distinct stamps identifying their makers and regions, allowing historians to map ancient trade like never before. Some jars came from Rhodes, others from Carthage or Hispania, proof that even 2,000 years ago, global trade was already in motion, uniting diverse cultures through commerce. The preservation of organic materials, ropes, wooden beams, and even cloth fibers astonished experts. Normally, bacteria consume organic remains within decades, yet here, everything lay untouched. This suggests the ship sank rapidly and was immediately buried by silt, cutting it off from oxygen. Such conditions are rare, making this one of the most complete Roman wrecks ever found. Advanced 3D scans are now creating a virtual reconstruction, allowing historians and the public to tour the vessel as if time itself had reversed. These scans also help researchers understand ancient shipbuilding techniques methods that influenced maritime design for centuries. However, with every revelation comes new mystery. Among the cargo, archaeologists discovered items that defy easy classification: metal fragments, unusual amphorae shapes, and inscriptions in Latin mixed with Greek. One recovered object, thought to be part of a navigational device, resembles the Antikythera mechanism, suggesting the Romans may have possessed far more advanced maritime tools than previously believed. Could this wreck hint at a lost generation of Roman engineers whose knowledge vanished with the empire's fall? The ship also challenges assumptions about ancient economics. Traditional history portrays Roman trade as local, but this vessel's cargo diversity shows a network spanning thousands of miles. DNA analysis of organic residues revealed spices from India and Africa, goods that traveled through multiple intermediaries before reaching Roman markets. This single shipwreck, then, encapsulates the first wave of globalization, a time when luxury goods crossed oceans not for survival, but for status and profit. Beyond its academic value, the find carries emotional weight. When divers peer into the ship's wooden skeleton, they are gazing at human ambition preserved in silence. Every nail and beam was crafted by hands long turned to dust. The crew who sailed her may have vanished in a sudden storm, unaware their final voyage would outlive their empire. Yet through their tragedy, they gifted future generations a story of resilience and curiosity, a reminder that even in loss, knowledge can endure. As researchers continue excavations using cutting-edge underwater drones and laser imaging, the ship reveals new secrets each day. Coins found aboard bear the likeness of Roman generals, suggesting the ship sailed during a time of political upheaval, possibly the transition from republic to empire. This hints that the merchant's journey was not just commercial but symbolic, a microcosm of a civilization in flux, caught between expansion and transformation. The site has now been declared a protected heritage zone, with plans to create a digital museum allowing people worldwide to explore its mysteries. From amphorae filled with ancient wine to the ship's elegant design, every detail speaks of a society that valued innovation, order, and beauty. This wreck does more than preserve history, it humanizes it. For centuries, the Mediterranean has swallowed countless ships, yet few ever return. This one did not by surfacing, but by refusing to vanish. It bridges the living and the dead, reminding us that history is not just written in books but hidden beneath waves, waiting for light to touch it once more. As scientists continue their work, one truth remains. The sea keeps secrets, but it never forgets. And every discovery like this Roman shipwreck pulls back another layer of time, revealing not just how the ancients lived, but how deeply connected we remain to them. Because when archaeologists look upon this vessel, they don't just see wood and clay, they see a civilization that dared to master the unknown. A story not lost, but waiting, perfectly preserved beneath the silence of the sea.